Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. Well, before we start, I want to do the roll call once again for the patrons on Patreon. So just to give thanks for all the donations that you guys have provided. Shanberries, Dolph Ziggler, Thailand, November, Patrick, Mavie, Paulie, Fantana. All you guys, thanks again so much for, your contributions on Patreon. Much appreciated. To everyone else, usually I leave a little card over here in this corner where you could check out my Patreon. If you feel like donating something to support this channel. The goal for this channel, guys, before we start, and I hate having to do like this maintenance speech because I love to just jump right into the fun shit and doing the review and tearing this fucking garbage apart. But I digress because I want to do this first. First of all, the subscriber count on this channel. It goes like back and forth. Like the past couple of weeks or so, I was like gaining a little bit momentum in subscribers, and I think it might have been due to like foraying into content like video games and trying different things like Brad's Bistro, which another one will be coming out probably today or tomorrow of that series. Probably another video game review this week. People said they wanted to hear they wanted to have a current video game review. Current video game review is about to happen. So stay tuned for that. I got the footage. I've, done the capture session already. Just gotta record the commentary for it. We should be good to go on that. But the subscriber count has gotten me frustrated. We all know that I've been trapped, at this cusp where I'm like almost at 6K subscribers, but I can't quite get there. And it's like looking at me like I've peaked here on YouTube. But I don't want to believe that. I always want to believe that there's room for growth. And, I've established a connection with the subscribers here and all the people that have watched me for years. I greatly appreciate that so much that you stuck by me, especially when there's so much other content on here. I know people say that, the YWC has died and I'm like one of the last remaining members, but, the numbers don't reflect that. You've got a lot of other people here, including Sean's View, that get way more, have way more subscribers, way bigger view counts, and that's not a knock against them. They deserve it. They've been here just as long as me, but I don't kind of understand why. I think I've had a presence here long enough, so it's something that's bothered me. I don't understand why exactly, especially when the way how YouTube is. I've had a few subscribers and then I lose subscribers. I start gaining subscribers and then I lose them. And I never understand why that is, and why certain videos get more views than others and others don't. I don't really know. But the only thing I can really ask is that you make sure that you're still subscribed, because it drives me bananas when I see the subscriber count starting to grow and then it gets knocked down again. I don't know if those are like subscriber bots, like fake accounts getting deleted or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But check that out. And like I always say at the end of each video, I'm just saying at the beginning so you're more likely to hear it, in case you happen to be skimming through the videos. Please click the bell so you get the notifications, so you know when the reviews are coming out. You guys kind of know, if you've been watching this channel already, when the Raw and SmackDown reviews are going to come out. So anyway, guys, just wanted to do that little disclaimer before. Let's try to get the channel at least to 6,000 before the end of the year. That would mean a lot to me. Would mean that I've made some sort of progress. And if we could get beyond that, that would be fantastic. But, one day maybe at least 10K would be great for this channel. But by the end of the year, I mean, that's a very highly unlikely number. But it's wishful thinking. But anyway, let's get to the fucking Raw review, motherfuckers. Because, I'm sorry if I was boring you there and you don't want to hear this and you're already subscribed. There's nothing you really could do there, in the first 5 minutes. But so Ambrose is getting interviewed. What's going on with Dean Ambrose? Is he going to turn? And, he's sarcastic about it. And, once again, guys, I didn't get that we're listening to a lunatic here. I like his demeanor and everything, but, I'm watching, and you guys are going to get a retro review pretty soon of this. I've been watching a lot of 1997 Raws, and let me tell you something. Raw 1997 from the summer on, from when they were doing Canadian Stampede, was on fire. That's, I think, when the WWE really started to ignite. They really started to do some edgy content, started putting forth some good stories and promos. And I'm looking at Brian Pillman, and I'm looking at Dean Ambrose here on Raw right after that. I'm like, these guys have a similar look to them. They kind of have, WWE kind of wants them to have the same character, but they're not giving him the script that's adequate enough for him to try to portray that character. They have a history of crazies. I mean, from Mick Foley to Al Snow to Brian Pillman, which is the character they want him to portray, the loose cannon. There would have been many comparisons when he first got into WWE to Brian Pillman, with the crazy hair, how Brian Pillman had the, the curly hair and everything. And, I'm just not getting that. So, Ambrose dismisses. He says he's not going to turn on the Shield. Where there was any doubt in Ambrose's mind about the Shield prior to that was, non-existent. This was kind of just a storyline that just came out of the blue, no history or anything like that. But like I said, it's a storyline. They pretty much kind of killed it last week by having Ambrose, just go to the Shield instead of looking away. I guess the story maybe they wanted to tell was, he was thinking about it, but he's just going to go what's familiar for right now. So Ambrose kind of toyed around, but he said he's going to stay with his brothers. Baron Corbin comes out. He offers him if he wants a match, for the IC title, for the Universal title, or a match with Braun Strowman. So Ambrose says he's not going to be fooled, he's not going to have him dangle the carrot in front of him. So, here's the thing. If he was going to pick one of those matches and it was going to be one of the title matches, why the fuck would he not pick the Universal title match, which is the World Championship on Raw? What would he be so stupid to pick the Workhorse title? Hey guys, it's the Workhorse title. I don't know if I'm a jockey or something like that. Maybe I should get a horse and ride on it because it's the Workhorse title, guys. I'm making the title mean more than the Universal title. Why wouldn't you want a shot at my title, guys? I mean, why not? Why not go for the, the IC Championship? It's the fucking Workhorse title, for God's sakes. Fuck the Universal Championship. Fuck being on the top of the world and getting paid the most money and having the most spotlight. It's all about being the workhorse, Don't when, horses get broken down or something, injuries, don't they? So shouldn't, but for all intents and purposes, when, Seth Rollins was injured with his knee, shouldn't they sent him to the glue factory like they do with all broken down horses, right? Don't when horses break their legs, don't they take them out to pasture? I know that sounds a bit grim, but I'm just saying, if he's the workhorse, I'm the workhorse, guys, right? Isn't that what you're saying? Anyway, it's a little bit morbid there, but I thought it was a bit of a funny comparison. So Corbin makes the choice for him. He puts him in the match against Strowman. Roman Reigns interferes to save him from getting, power slammed multiple times. Backstage, they kind of toy around with the idea of Ambrose still turning on them. Ambrose says to Rollins, I could have been IC champion. He was champion at one time. Then he says later on in the show, he says to Roman Reigns that he could have been Universal Champion if he wasn't such a nice guy. I'm sorry, but this is like not enough. These little short backstage segments of trying to tell the story of Ambrose turning on the Shield. It's like they want to have a storyline, but not putting enough context into it where we're really going to believe it. And they might have Ambrose eventually turn on them, but you're not capturing my interest. And you already started off the show with Ambrose not even questioning the Brotherhood enough. He kind of just was sarcastic, and for what? Like, why is he being so sarcastic? Oh, he's a lunatic. He's sarcastic. Oh my God, he's so crazy. Oh, hey, oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's a lunatic. He needs to be stopped. He's sarcastic, guys. Oh my God, he's so out of control. What a loose cannon. It reminds me exactly of Brian Pillman back in the day. Oh, what a fucking bullshit. How about putting some actual effort into the storyline? How about putting some actual effort into his character? How about putting some actual effort into the show itself? I mean, are you really going to just, try to have a storyline and you're just going to half-ass it? Anyway, Roman Reigns defeated Dolph Ziggler in a match. It was pretty decent for what it was. Strangely enough, Corbin comes out and says the Universal title is not going to be on the line, during the Roman and Ziggler match, and it's not going to be on the line in the Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins match either. So there's no stakes. No reason to watch these matches. So they're telling you right at the end of the show, don't even bother watching, guys, because the title's not even going to be on the line. So it's like, why even bother watching then? There's no reason to have these matches. Other than it just kind of be a little bit of a compliment leading into the Superstar Showdown. The Australia show that they're going to have on the network. I mean, so why are these titles not on the line? It's like, first of all, are we really going to think that Ziggler's even going to beat Roman Reigns for the title as it is? So having it non-title, is that really going to make that much of a fucking difference? It would have been more exciting having the title on the line, but, it's just funny how they had to have that disclaimer before the match, like, oh, by the way, it's not for the titles. Okay, Ronda Rousey defeated Ruby Riott. So Ronda Rousey, after taking a break for unknown reasons last week, which I didn't find any info of why she wasn't there, Ruby Riott was actually beating up on Ronda Rousey, and the Riott Squad wasn't even really interfering. I know I made a video called Ruby Riott Sucks, but, they kind of spruced up Ruby Riott's appearance, making her look a little bit better. Like, I'm not saying, like, prettier. I'm just saying she looks better. Like, the outfit they gave her when she first came onto the main roster looked fucking hideous. They weren't even really trying to make her stand out. Now she's standing out a bit more with, like, the streaks in her hair, and the outfit's a lot better. But she's, like, beating the shit out of Ronda Rousey, and, like, I'm sorry, but, like, to me, it didn't even seem like she struggled this much with Nia Jax. I don't know, unless they're really going to put a lot of stock in Ruby Riott from now on. But she ended up losing the match as it is. So, I didn't understand this. If they're going to go through all that trouble of having Ruby Riott look that strong, wouldn't it have made more sense to have maybe like the Riott Squad then interfere at the end of the match? I mean, isn't this what they're going to do with Superstar Showdown anyway? So it's like, why give away a finish here? I don't get it when they didn't need to. It would have played into the Riot Squad being heels, but, you spend all this time of having Ruby Riott control the majority of the match, and then you just have her fucking lose after having all that against Ronda Rousey. So it's like, this is why they can't build any new stars. And I know how they think. Oh, Ruby Riott gave her a run for her money, so Ruby Riott is over now because she almost beat Ronda. Well, she didn't beat Ronda Rousey. And meanwhile, you've got What Culture making a fucking video called How Continuity is Hurting the WWE, how it's killing the WWE. Are they out of their fucking minds? Lack of continuity is killing the WWE. You fucking smart motherfuckers. Maybe I'll do a reaction video to that in the future because I think it's well warranted. Connor from the Ascension beat Bobby Roode. So I said, Connor is a huge guy. Why not give this guy a bit of momentum? Why not make him into a monster? Well, I'm not really getting that vibe. He did win 2 matches in a row. But Bobby Roode losing, I mean, man, it's just like, they don't know what the fuck to do with this guy. I mean, you've got a guy with all the talent in the world right here, and this is what you've chosen to do with him, putting him in a tag team with Chad Gable, and I love the reaction from the fans. It's like, we love Chad Gable, but we don't want Bobby Roode to team with him. It's like, you should just be happy that Chad Gable is getting any TV time. I know that this guy, I said he's got a good physique for his size. He's talented in the ring, but the guy has zero personality. He's got a voice that may be, just one step below Seth Rollins as far as unbearable tone. So I'm just, I don't know. People are very confused, but this is just a very confusing choice for a tag team. It's super random, and it really shows, why are these guys together? And since they've been together, they've been losing. So the team is not working. You know what I mean? So why are they still carrying on with it? It's like Bobby Roode should have just kicked the shit out of Chad Gable for losing last week. That would have been an interesting story. If they told that story like Bobby Roode, took Chad Gable, under his wing, and Chad just kept losing. So he just beats the shit out of him. I mean, that would have been more interesting. I don't know how that would be an over storyline, but I'm just saying, why would Bobby Roode, a man of his stature, want to team with Chad Gable, who's basically a jobber? Alexa Bliss did a moment of bliss with Trish Stratus, and so Bliss, what do you call it? She talks about Trish Stratus, and Trish burped in her face, tore up her autograph book. So this is what we're getting now. This is the storyline. Okay, so they say, what was it, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, they told a little story about how Alexa Bliss, and Trish Stratus, they're in the ring together, and now they tell a little story, and that's supposed to be the build. And is that all we're gonna get? I mean, maybe Trish will show up on the Raw right before Evolution, but I mean, after this ended, I was like, okay, this is the build for this. We didn't really even talk about any type of story for weeks, and this is the best that they give us. Especially when this is the only thing Alexa Bliss did on the show. So, Alexa Bliss loses the women's title, and this is the best that they've got for her on the show. I'm like, Okay. Yeah. This is not good. This is very bad. This is not exactly what we want to see out of Alexa. I mean, this girl, I said she's one of the most charismatic women they've got. And this is how they're going to use her on the show. I mean, she conveyed it well and all that. But this is the build. This is the build-up that you're going to give us. This is the story. You know, Trish Stratus burped in her face and ripped up her autograph book. I mean, they're making it in jest a little bit of a funny lie from Alexa to make Trish look bad. But, like, that is basically the story, I guess. Because this is what happens when you book the match before you make the story. I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, wow. Wow. I mean, this is just unfucking believable. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is just so fucking lazy from them. This is just unbearable. To see, like, they had this match, and it's a good match. I'm sure it's going to be a good match. They're going to wrestle a good match and everything like that, and maybe they'll tell a good story in the ring. But as far as telling a storyline-wise, I mean, this is fucking awful. This is, it just shows, I mean, go watch my Evolution rant. They are making a match right here, and they did it again also with Mickie James and Lita. And there's been no build for that either. So they make the match, they do no build, and it's historic, guys. They make sure they say that 1,000 times. So maybe if they say it 60 more times, I'm getting a flash flood warning on my phone for some fucking reason. You know, I guess the flash flood warning is more over than emergency alert. Oh, I don't fucking know. I'll tell you what the real emergency is. The real fucking emergency is that this Evolution pay-per-view is just a fucking mess. Oh, I don't know what to tell you guys. But anyway, it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, they've got a pay-per-view that they're trying to make historic, but they're not even putting any attention into it. Oh my god. What the fuck was next? The B Team defeated the Revival. You know, it's like, why would anybody be interested in this match? You know, they knocked the B Team down so many pegs. They were like getting over on the show a little bit with the crowd. The B Team, go shit. I think that's lame as fuck. The Revival, it's like, here's a team that they show us, like, remember they were like, oh, we're old school and everything, and then they go out there and they lose every single match that they wrestled in. So I'm kind of just sitting there saying to myself, what the, you know, why even bother? You go out there, you had them cut promos. Remember Raw 25? It was like they were going to show DX what was up. It's like, you know, we're going to take it to them. We're old school. And then they got their fucking asses kicked at Raw 25. It's like, why are you even bothering with these guys? You're not doing anything fucking worth the shit with them. So, you know, you put them on the show every week. It's just, it looks stupid. You know, here's a bunch of guys that come out here and lose every week. Well, wow, I guess they're going to get over based on that. Then the B Team just gets blindsided by the AOP. So, you know, I don't know why we even spent, like, all that time on the match. Like, the AOP, like, Authors of Pain, they had them in the main event last week. Now they're just attacking the B Team. Like, what the fuck are they doing with anybody on this show? I mean, really. It's like Alexa Bliss is your top girl. She's relegated to just some fucking 1-minute segment where she talks about a legend burping in her face. Then it's like you know, the B team, they were just tag champs about a month ago, and, you know, they're having some worthless match. They're getting their asses kicked by AOP that were in the main event last week. Now they don't even have a match, and they're only shown for like 30 seconds beating up on the B team. Drake Maverick is like their manager, but, you know, we haven't even really heard a word from him since. I mean, I guess there's been promos, but they're like, you know, on WWE.com, so I don't know who gives a fuck about that. Susan G. Komen. Well, right on schedule, guys. So, you know, last week I did a big rant on Connor's Cure, and I said how it was all phony BS bullshit and everything like that. And now they're doing the Susan G. Komen stuff, and, you know, they didn't, like, make costumes for the women or anything like that. But, I mean, once again, guys, it's like, you know, it's another charity. It's another way of them getting themselves over. Every single month, it's some new cause and everything. It's a wrestling show. You're not going to get yourselves over and widely accepted by the fucking world. No matter how many charities you associate yourselves with, you know, I'm sorry. You just not going to be able to do that. I mean, on SmackDown, you've got Samoa Joe invading AJ Styles' house, and now it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Like, it's the WWE, folks. How you doing? Like that's you know, this is the type of show that we're running here. Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins. Dolph Ziggler ran into the ring, and then he ran out the other side, which distracted Rollins. Drew McIntyre hit the kick, and he got the win. So, you know, Drew got a pin on Rollins, and, you know, it was a non-title match. So, I guess that's why they made that one a non-title match, so they could give Drew McIntyre the win without having him win the belt. Because, you know, that would have made Raw too exciting if Drew McIntyre won the IC belt. Because, you know, I mean, it's just so exciting seeing Seth Rollins burning it down, guys, with the IC belt. I mean, they're doing just such a tremendous job with that. So, you know, he hits the kick, he gets the win. All right, so we had a match. You know, it meant nothing. Elias and Kevin Owens. And so, you know, I see that people wanted me to talk about this, and, you know, and about the crowd reaction. So, you know, Elias took a jab, you know, at the Seattle Supersonics, you know, leaving Seattle, and the crowd went fucking crazy about this. So, you know, this has been a time-honored tradition by WWE. They did it in the Attitude Era, too, where they would take a shot at the sports team or something like that. And the crowd kept booing and booing and booing them out of the building. And, like, okay, so I have a lot of different feelings about this. Did I like this? Yeah, I did. I thought it was good. And the number one thing about this is it really showed that, I mean, I talk a lot of shit about Kevin Owens, but I did say one thing. The guy is very good on the mic. I think he is a good wrestler. He just needs to lose a lot of weight and get the fucking shape. At least get fucking toned. Lose the fucking belly. I mean, something. You know, he's a young guy still, and he looks like that. So that's unacceptable. If the guy was older, and he was getting up there in age, and he'd already been an established wrestler, okay, I could understand that, you know, that the guy would be a little bit out of shape later on in his career. But he's not. Anyway, so, whatever. That we've already said that 1,000 times in numerous other videos. Let's talk about how these guys reacted. They handled themselves like true pros here. They really did. I mean, they did not let the audience get to them at all. They stayed true to it. They started talking louder over the audience. They got their promo across and everything like that. But there wasn't really a lot of context to this promo. That's the funny thing about it. And the thing is, what kind of bothered me about this segment is that they sent the crowd into a frenzy, not over an angle that they did, not over, a storyline or something that related to their character. No, they did it because they hit on a sensitive topic about a sports team leaving the city of Seattle. So, I don't know what to tell you, but once again, it just shows that, like, well, it was a good reaction, and they probably knew they were gonna get a big reaction for saying something like that. When it's a sensitive thing, like a sports team that's been established there for years has left. Yeah, it's gonna strike a chord with the crowd. But I much rather have seen something like that would have really put Elias and Kevin Owens over as characters. Like, see, this is going to work because this is in Seattle. But if they go to New York and they're like at the Coliseum, no one's going to give a fuck if they cut that promo there. You know what I mean? So it was a little jab designed to get heat right there. But, like, the home audience might have been like, oh, yeah, that was a bit of a jab. And I say that it was good timing and everything. It was delivered well. It also shows that maybe not even that the crowd was that insulted by it, but we are also dealing with a smarky fucking crowd. So, the thing here also is that these crowds are uncontrollable nowadays. We've seen this before, where, they've booed and they've heckled. They've done it to Charlotte through the whole entire promo. I mean, this was probably one of the loudest continuous boos I've ever heard in my life, but that's still besides the point. That it shows that WWE has no control over their audience. They can't get over with any of these wrestlers with the crowd from a storyline standpoint, but they have to do it by just doing things from outside of the WWE. And that kind of bothered me. So there was some good to this. I mean, it was good as a segment because of what they did, but, like, next week when they're in a different town, this is not going to matter because they're not going to carry that heat over because of what they said about the Sonics in Seattle. You see what I'm saying? Like, when they go to Australia, they're not going to carry that heel heat over there because I don't even think they have a fucking basketball team over there. So after that, we go to a match with Bobby Lashley. And, like, after all that heat, like, you go to this match and you're just like, who the fuck cares? So they have the match. Lio Rush, starts, darting away and all that. And Kevin Owens rolls up. Bobby Lashley gets the pin. I don't know, would it have killed them to have John Cena on this show in some way, shape, or fashion? I mean, maybe, Cena's got some prior obligations, but he's easier to get than The Rock. To me, I feel like they don't even try half the times to get any of these people for the show. WWE's got an alarming amount of money. They can pretty much get whoever they want on these shows, no matter what. The circumstance may be, as long as the dollar amount is right. I mean, they could call in a favor. But, it's just like after, all that heat and, everyone's concentrating on, that tremendous amount of heat, who's going to really give a fuck about what they do in just a simple, average, mundane match? Then we have Bayley defeating Alicia Fox. So, it wasn't like Mickie James and Alexa Bliss teaming up with Foxy. Now, because they're doing Mixed Match Challenge, now it's Jinder Mahal there. and Finn Balor, and this is like not even explained. Like, okay, they're teaming together on Mixed Match Challenge, but last year they didn't want to have any continuity. Mixed Match Challenge was in a separate universe. That shit didn't exist on Raw. Now all of a sudden it exists. Go figure. Alright, so whatever. Alright, so Brad, you asked for continuity. You got your ass some continuity. Well, you know, continuity, you know, abound, but, I mean, it's costing Mickie James and Alexa Bliss a spot on the show. I mean, Alexa Bliss is confined to a 1-minute promo where she's talking about Trish burping in her face, and she's got a big match against she's got him. I'm sorry, I know I already talked about this, but fuck this match. So Bayley wins here against Fox. That's all you need to know. Finn Balor was smiling like a fucking deranged lunatic. But, I mean, it's like, you have a dream match here. It's a dream match, guys. You know, Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss, right? So, it's like, and you don't even care about it. Your pay-per-view is supposed to be historic, and you don't even give a fuck. So, let's talk about the main event. It was Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels shaved his head. I didn't really like that. You know, it was a little weird when his cowboy hat came off. Like, he was just wearing a bandana. And, I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, I get it that, like, you know, Shawn Michaels, his hair was receding. But it's like, he didn't need to cut it all off. It was fine when he had the short haircut, but now he shaved the whole thing. I mean, wow, a bald Shawn Michaels. I can't get used to this. I mean, after seeing Shawn Michaels and, like, that long hair was his whole thing. I mean, like, part of, you know, who he was. You know, you saw Shawn Michaels, you thought of long hair, a long ponytail. And, you know, he talked about Kane and how he was going to super kick Kane when he saw him. Kane comes out, and I mean, this is real weird. We're seeing the current mayor fucking coming out, you know, in a mask, in full character. It's like, I'm sorry, but like I talked about this in a few Raw reviews ago when they announced this. I can't, like, look at Kane the same way. I'm going to look at this guy as mayor. I'm going to be watching Superstar Showdown, and I'm going to be thinking of Mayor Glenn Jacobs, not Kane. I'm sorry, but the allure of kayfabe is gone. It's already ridiculous enough that he's putting on a wig. You know what I'm saying? When he's already taken the mask and the wig off 1,000 times, and we already know it's not his real hair. But then the Undertaker appears, and then Triple H comes to Shawn Michaels' rescue, and they ended up getting chokeslammed in Tombstone. So, I mean, that was awesome to see some classic Attitude Era stuff at the end right here to end this show. But apparently, from what I've been reading in the ratings, nobody even fucking saw it because it was one of the lowest rated Raws in history. Especially with the third hour having a huge drop-off. They put, like, okay, so I understand that a lot of times that they seem to put a lot of the best stuff at the end of the second hour because that's when most people stop watching, and that is just so fucking ridiculous. I mean, I understand they have the third hour for extra advertising numbers and stuff like that. But, I mean, man, this just looks horrible. I mean, you had the most over stars in the third hour, and it was one of the lowest rated Raws, especially because no one watches your third hour. That's not a good look at all. Oh, my God. Like, look at the ratings for this Raw. They're a fucking train wreck. And, like, and that was the best part of the show. Was what was at the end with the most over stars, the legends in there. You had 4 legends going at it and no one even fucking saw it. What a fucking mess of a show. I mean, my God. As people, like, also, like, Superstar Showdown. Like, I guess they're going to have to count. No one's going to be able to watch this live. It's going to be like at 2 a.m. So, I mean, I want to review this show. I want to watch and I want to review it. I do want to see Triple H versus The Undertaker. You know, I'm going to try to get this review out as soon as I can. So, you know, all my subs could see that, you know, a review of Superstar Showdown. But with this 2 a.m. Showtime, I'll tell you something. I'm definitely not going to be watching this shit at fucking 2 a.m. I'm not staying up to fucking see this garbage. I mean, I'm probably going to be up at 2 a.m. that day, but I'm probably not going to... Well, I might not, because I usually work on Sunday. So, I don't know. We're going to fucking figure some shit out. How to review that fucking show. That's at a weird-ass time. And I get it. It's because it's in Australia. But, my God, it's like... They want to push this thing so heavily. It's like, no one's even going to fucking watch it. And by the looks of it, no one's even fucking watching Raw, which is their main fucking meal ticket. So, you know, there you go, guys. There's your Raw review. I hope you all enjoyed it. Getting ready to record the SmackDown review right after this. So, this has been your YWC champ. And, guys, once again, make sure you subscribe. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of my other videos I have posted here. And until next time, motherfucker.